All right, so today we're talking about formatting. So you're logged into your computers. I want you to log into OneDrive because there's a document we're all going to open and we're all going to format it together. It's a formal report that I did not create. It came from document processing. I took all the format off, and we're going to go in and add formatting to that. So once you log into your Office 365, I want you to go to OneDrive. And in your Shared With Me file, you have your folder for this class, BUS 236 BizCom. And I think, yeah, sorry, I had to look. Okay, once you're in your BUS 236 BizCom, you have a Chapter 11 folder. I want you to look in there and open this report example not formatted. Not formatted. Go ahead and open it, and then open it in Word. Hopefully, Abigail, your computer works this time. If not, we'll do the same thing we did last time and download it and open it. So I want you to open it and edit it in Word. It might take a minute. You have to log in, but we're pulling the exact same file. We're all working on the exact same file. And by me showing you this, I'm just trying to make your life a little easier. This is not something I have to show you. I just want to, because I want you to be aware of how this works and how much easier it's going to make your life. I'm excited about the changes that came with 2013. And then next year we switched to 2016, and I'm anticipating a lot, even more changes. So make sure you enable the editing. Now for some of you, you may have to click View and then Edit Document. I'm not sure how it looks for you. Okay, you should have this very bland, very boring, formal report. Yours isn't? Yours is doing the same thing that it did this morning? Okay, so here's what you're going to do instead. I'm going to close mine. If yours is not opening and you keep getting an error message, that is an error with OneDrive. So I'm going to go back to this folder, and I'm going to put a check mark beside this report example not formatted. Click Download. Now, if you're in Chrome, it downloads in the lower left-hand corner. It should open automatically. If you're in Internet Explorer, you're going to click Save and then Open. And what it just did was downloaded it to your Downloads folder on the computer so we could get to it.
I hit save and then it came up with a folder to save.
Okay. So now choose Download. Yeah. Save. Oh my gosh, look at that name. It shouldn't be that way. Okay, there is something wrong here. It should just be named this, not that. Yeah. Is anyone else having a problem with it working? Or is it just a couple of computers?
Mine did at first, but it's working now.
It would make more sense to me if every computer did the same thing, but the fact that one or two, we're going to actually use a different browser. Let's go to Chrome. And now go back into prattcc.edu. Oh, sorry. Interesting, there's a PC. prattcc.edu. Okay, who else was having an issue? Okay, see, that's a different one. Okay, that's a different one. That's just, yeah, that's not what we're opening. So you're not in the, go to that folder, Chapter 11. And this first one. Edit it over here. Go over and yes. And then it's going to make you log in probably to OneDrive.
Yeah.
Okay, Chapter 11.
chapter 11. Put the check mark beside it, and then we're just gonna download it. So it's gonna open. Yeah, I just don't know. It has to be, might work better. I don't know. I'm not one time having this happen, and that's no problem. Everyone hop in, it recognizes that.
Oh, should I go ahead and use from this one?
No, you can use Internet Explorer. Yeah, I do it all the time. So.
Okay, anyone else having issues? Did it finally open? Were you tying up? Okay, anyone else? Did you get the enable editing bar or did you have to go to view edit document? But did it look like this? It's just what I'm wondering. Did you have the bar? Okay, I never know because I'm the one that created it, so it always looks different for me than it looks for you. We're gonna wait just a second just to make sure that this computer over here is working. This is just the body of the formal report. And notice right now it's 4 pages long. That's pretty standard for a formal report. Otherwise it would be considered a short report. And what made it a little longer? This table for one, and this SmartArt graphic for another. Those are good pieces to put in. They're good visual graphics. I wouldn't leave them as boring as they are, but especially the SmartArt. Yay. Okay, so it is the computer, not you. That should make you feel good. Okay, so we all have this open. Now we're going to do some things very basic to begin with. This is our title. And our title, we're going to change the style of each one of these. And that style is going to be based on our theme. I like to change the styles first, and then I go in and change the theme to see which one I kind of like better. So this first line, you're just going to choose title, style. So I'm on the home tab, choose title. It's kind of boring to begin with. It won't change until we change some other options. Now our preliminary data, this is a heading 1. Actually, it looks like a subtitle to me, and it's already a formatted subtitle. I forgot to take that one off. So if you chose heading 1, change it to subtitle. Revenue projections, all you need to do is click in this paragraph, the words revenue projections. You don't have to select the whole line and choose heading 1. Now, if I had you in a class, you would know some shortcuts to do some of these things, but I'm not here to teach you Microsoft Word. I'm just here to teach you a few pieces of this. So historical and market data, heading 1. Revenue potential analyzed, heading 1. Veterinary clinic, heading 1. The reason this is important is because what we're choosing right now is what's going to create our table of contents. Now, when we get down here to the next page under luxury suite boarding, doggy day camp, these are heading 2. So luxury suite boarding, this is heading 2. This is a subheading underneath veterinary clinic. And then doggy day camp, this is heading 2. Pet grooming and spa, heading 2. Boutique, heading 2. Total revenue projections, heading 1. Comparison to pro formas, heading 1. That's at the very bottom of that page, and it's going to force it to the next page. And then Hess Pet Center profitability, heading 1. Heading 1.
And so is total revenue?
Yes, total revenue projections, heading 1. Okay, veterinary clinic is heading 1, and then underneath it we had some heading 2s, luxury suite boarding, doggy day camp, pet grooming and spa, boutique. Those are all heading 2 because those fall, they're subheadings under the veterinary clinic. I only know that because I've seen the final report. If I wrote this report, I would know what is heading 1 and heading 2. And you could possibly use heading 3. This report just doesn't use a heading 3. And that would be a subheading. So a subheading of your subheading. Okay, does everyone have that typed? We didn't type anything, we just formatted. Now I'm going to scroll to the top because I'm really going to look at this title and I'm going to change my theme. And that's on the design tab. You do not have to change your theme. It's not required, but it does help with the formatting. Now, when you are working on a formal report, everything is left aligned. In APA style, everything is left aligned. You never indent a ½ inch on any paragraph. You never center. The only thing that might possibly be centered are like captions under your pictures or your figures. The only time you might center something. Everything else is left aligned. It's very important for you to know that in a formal report. So when we go to the design tab, we have some of these different styles that we can choose, these style sets. Don't choose any that have center. They look nice, but they don't fall in that APA style. So you can choose any of these styles that you like. They're actually called style sets. I can't remember which one I chose when I did this. I don't necessarily like this numbered one. I like plain and basic, and that's because that's APA style, very basic. You can click the More button right here in this style set, and you will find a few more. I personally kind of like this one. It's called Minimalist, but you don't have to choose the same one that I choose. The reason I like this one is because I didn't like the way it just put the word plan on a second line. We call that an orphan. When we have the last word of a sentence on a new line or a new page, we call that an orphan. A widow is the first word by itself. So I just chose a style that worked for me. Now I could have done other things. I could have changed the size of that.
Actually, dividend was fit like that.
Yeah, on the 2 lines instead of just one word. But you could always go in and still change the size. It doesn't have to be this 38.
Right.
It could be something different.
What bothers me though is like the subtitle is smaller.
It kind of bothers me too. It's very small. Yeah. And you could go in and resize that if you wanted to. But personally, I would probably make this a heading 1 because I would want it to show up in my table of contents. But it was formatted as subtitle and I forgot to remove it. So if you want to, you can make it heading 1. Let's click on preliminary data, go back to the home tab and choose heading 1. That's fine. I wouldn't. To me, it is more of a heading because it's introducing this next paragraph than it is a subtitle.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I really don't see it as a subtitle.
Yeah. All right, go back to your design tab. You can also change your fonts here if you want to after you've already typed everything. By default, everything is like Calibri. It's very plain and boring. I don't know what this is. I didn't type it. Right here, you can actually change your fonts. So it does the whole thing. If I click fonts right here, I can scroll down and find one of these font sets that I like. Don't go too crazy. Garamond is always good. Georgia's good. Very business, very professional. I'm going to choose Georgia. You do not have to choose the same one I'm choosing. But I just think it looks a little more professional than just the plain old Calibri. And we're all about professional.
It also depends on what you choose, if it's going to kick that business plan back up.
Yes, it will make a difference. You will also then, if you do this after you type, you would have to go in and make sure you don't have any weird things happening on pages.
Right.
You would never want just a title to show up at the bottom of a page. You would have to do some forcing of that to the next page. I usually make these changes before I ever start typing.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. When you just type it all and then make these, or do you?
I do it as I type, yeah. It's not wrong to do it the other way. It's just different. Okay, Something else you need to know is that within paragraphs, everything is single spaced. So notice right here, this is single spaced. That is changed. There's a lot of different ways to change it, but you can go into this paragraph spacing. We're not going to change this because this is part of the theme. But you could say no paragraph space, but if you do that after you start typing, it's going to really confuse everything on your page. So don't change anything right now. It should be set just fine. But there are options here. And if I don't like compact, I like either the tight or the open is okay, but don't go any more than that. This relaxed and double is way too much. Yeah, I've seen it a lot. Don't use double trying to fill space because it's not professional. So I would say the open or the tight are the two probably that I see that are the best options.
You said this before you typed it.
I do it before I type, yes. I choose no spacing before I type because then I can get to control the spacing.
Is there a space between paragraphs?
Yes. And in this example, they did not leave an actual space, but they have what's called after a paragraph spacing set. So it looks like there's a blank space here. So that is good, yes, to have this. Now I would have just pressed enter and had a blank space right here and typed. But like I said, I'm not the one that actually created this. So, but yes, it is okay to have this. It's actually good to have this blank space between the paragraphs. But within each paragraph, it should be single spaced. That's APA style. And this is formatted APA style. That's why I picked the one that I picked. Okay, now I want you to click right before the H in the title, Hess Pet Center Business Plan. And we're going to create a new page. Now there's a shortcut for inserting a page break and it's Control Enter. So we can use that in this example, Control Enter. It's just a page break. You don't want to use that, you can go to Page Layout, Breaks, because there's a point in time where we're going to use a different type of break. But this regular just page break, Control Enter is the shortcut for that. And I just entered a blank page right up here at the top. It always inserts above wherever you have selected. So now let's click on this blank page. Make sure you're in the left side. I'm not sure why mine clicked in the middle. Yeah, that's weird because we've not typed anything here, so there shouldn't be any place to type. Makes me wonder. Oh, it was at the end of the page break, that's why. What I just did was I turned the show hide, these are called non-printing characters, on so that I could see that page break. I know some people that like to have this on when they're typing. I'm going to turn it back off. It's just a toggle switch. So make sure when you click, you're at the very beginning of this document. And we're going to go to References tab. And on the far left, we have Table of Contents. Click the drop-down arrow. We have 3 options. There are more options if you wanted to look online, but the one that we're going to use is this Automatic Table 2. You will probably always use this Automatic Table 2. Because in the APA style, we don't just use the word contents. That's what makes Automatic Table 1 incorrect for us. That's okay in MLA style, but it's not okay in APA. So we're going to use Automatic Table 2. As soon as we click that, look what it just created for us. You guys, I cannot tell you how nice this feature is. If you've ever had to create a table of contents manually, this right here was one click of a mouse, and it just created it for us. Based off of those headings, all of these were heading 1s, and these right here were heading 2. If we would have had a heading 3, it would have indented it another few spaces. And then it told whatever page number that was found on. That's our table of contents. You have to have one of these. If you want to manually go in and do this, that'd be my guest. But I'm just telling you that you should use this method because it's much easier. Wait until you're almost completely done before you do the table of contents. If by chance you create this table of contents and then you add pieces and parts or make changes to the report, you have to update this. So you would just click inside the contents somewhere. The table of contents doesn't matter where you click. you get this little control piece up here, and you would just click Update Table. And it would update any of these new headings and the new page numbers that they're found on. So if by chance, after you've inserted your table of contents, you make changes to your report, you would need to update this table. Okay, now I want you just to click outside of the table of contents, but somewhere towards the top of the page. I guess you can't really click outside of it. Click right before the T. I don't think it should affect anything, but we're going to insert that title page. And once again, Word has a very nice feature for doing that. It's called a cover page. In APA style, we call it a title page. So click the Insert tab. And on the far left, we have Cover Page. Click your drop-down arrow. These all are based on the theme, so the colors may look different. I have just a plain old office theme, and so that's why everything is blue. You could choose any of these. I would say the more plain it is, the better. I would not have a cover page with a graphic, but you know, in this case, it's probably, it could possibly be okay if you added a graphic that went along with maybe your product or service of the business. But I'm going to choose this Ion Light because it's very basic, very simple. Go ahead and click on it. It inserted it into a page before your table of contents. You could, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you would just notice it put everything in here already. HESP, Pet Center Business Plan, preliminary data, whoever it was that wrote it. Now you guys would go in and make changes to the author, of course. And then this up here is supposed to be the date, and I'm not sure why it's only showing 014. That's kind of weird, but you can click this drop-down arrow and actually choose the right year. I've never seen it do that where it just had the 014. The 014? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, I just clicked the drop-down arrow and just clicked on the day, and it changed it to 2017. Year is fine in this particular example. If you chose a different cover page, it's going to look a little different. So, and year, this would be fine. This would count. It's basic and plain, but guess what? APA style is basic and plain, so it's okay. All right, so now we've done a title page, we've done a table of contents. The next thing we're going to do is scroll down here, and we're going to add captions for these two figures we have in here. So I'm scrolling down, I'm on page 5. I have a table, and I have a SmartArt graphic. This table, I'm reading the little line up here. It says, Figure 1 summarizes the revenue projections for the first year of operation. All right, so I'm going to click in the table somewhere. Doesn't matter where. Now I'm going to right click. There is another way to do this, but right clicking will get you there. And go down to where it says, and it does not say it. Should say insert caption. Let's select the whole table. So right to the left of this table, you see the crosshairs in the upper left-hand corner. Click that crosshair to select the entire table. Now right-click on the table, and there we go, insert caption. It's also found, I believe, on the Format Tables Design tab, nope, Layout tab. There is an insert caption, but I always right-click. I don't see it up there. So right-click, insert caption, you'll get there. Because I have more than just tables here, I'm going to change this caption label to figure. So under options, it says label and then table. I'm going to click the drop-down arrow and choose figure. That way I can name them all figure whatever. And they don't have to be specific to what it is, whether it's a table or a graphic. So figure 1 is the caption. Right after the 1, I'm going to put a colon and a short little summary of what this figure is.
It's not letting me change the name.
Did you go down to the options under label and put the drop-down arrow and choose figure? And then you click up here. It won't let you change this word right here, figure 1. you have to change the label first. We can also choose whether or not it's below the selected item. I just leave that because that will look nice to be under the selected item. So colon, let's just put revenue projections or first year revenue projections. First year, I do not like this font.
Do you leave no space there?
Yeah, colon, and then it'll do it. It should do it automatically. As soon as we click off of it, you could put a space there, but I think that it does it automatically.
You could put like projection summary.
Yeah, you could say projection summary. That'd be fine. Or revenue projection summary. It's just kind of whatever you would title this table. And there's a reason we're doing this. I'll show you in just, a minute after we create this caption. Doesn't have to be a big long sentence. 2 to 3 words usually works. I'm not sure why it's formatting this way. Again, is everyone's look this way? So when I did this on my laptop, it was very plain. It's just small, and it was a dark blue. And this looks really weird. So go ahead and click OK. It's going to place it beneath the actual item. I can select it and center it if I want to. This is a place where centering would be okay. I kind of liked it left aligned, so I'm wondering at this point. I think that gold looks terrible though with this theme, so I'm wondering if I can change it. I can. I just highlighted and changed it like I would any other font. And on my laptop, it was this dark blue color. I'm not sure why it turned out that gold. I wouldn't count it off if you centered it. I like it left aligned, but that's just because that's what I've been taught is everything is left aligned. But I have seen the APA style where they've centered that figure 1 caption. We're going to do the same thing with the Smart Art. So select the Smart Art, right click, make sure you're on the boundary around the Smart Art, right click and choose Insert Caption. This is figure 2, colon. This shows the percentage of revenue contributed by each of the 5 segments. So maybe just percentage of revenue. Very short. It doesn't have to be lengthy. It shouldn't be lengthy. It should be very short. Click OK. If you formatted the one above, you definitely need to format this one as well. My color is still in my font, so I can just click the button and it changes. Did it really?
My pages are different.
Well, I let everybody choose different style sets and different,
I'm pretty sure I don't need. Oh, I have a different font.
yeah. So all of those things would matter. And then at the very end, I would go in and make corrections and fix all of that. Okay, so we had 2 figures. And now if you have any kind of table or chart or anything, and I recommend using those because number 1, they take up space, but they're also interesting to look at. To me, this makes more sense than reading some paragraph that would explain this to me. So include those in your formal report. Now we're going to scroll back up right after the table of contents. So actually we could click on this page that has our business title on it, the H in Hess Business Center. It's my title. Mine is on page 3. I'm going to do another page break, Control Enter. Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you have a blank page?
No, but like at home, I have that problem in my head.
If you have a blank page at the very end, if you turn this non-printing characters on, it's probably because there have been some enters that have shown up and it'll show on that last page and you just delete those paragraph markers and then it usually goes away. All right, so now we're on page 3. It's now a blank page. Click at the beginning of it. We're going to go to the References tab. Now it's weird because the word is insert. We're going to insert a table of figures, but we find that under References, just where we found our table of contents. This one is an insert table of figures. So click Insert Table of Figures. And you get to decide what it looks like. This is the preview if it's on the web, which we're not putting it on the web. This would be the print. The default is fine. I like right now that it looks like the table of contents, but we can change the format right here in the general formats from a template currently. Classic, distinctive, I like the formal. Formal is my favorite. I don't know why. You don't have to use it. I think formal and from template are the best. I'm going to leave mine at formal. I'm not going to change this tab leader because my table of contents has a dot leader, so I'm going to leave that in my table of figures. We don't have to change much. Click OK. Really, you don't have to change anything. And here it is, my table of figures. It tells me that on page 5, I have a figure showing the first year revenue projections. And on page 5, I also have a figure that's the percentage of revenue. Now, if yours went to another page, this page number will show the page it's on. So do you have one that says 5 and one that says 6?
I was trying to fix it, but
Okay. The only thing this is missing is a title. So you have to click before that first F and press enter and arrow up and type table. I do it in all, actually I don't think you have to do it in all caps. Table of figures. Then you would need to format it exactly like all of your others are formatted, which is a heading 1 style. So click in the table of figures, home tab, heading 1, because you want it to look the same.
For some reason, I came out blue, like the font is blue.
On the heading 1 or the whole table of,
On the table.
really?
Yeah, and it won't change.
Man, okay, so highlight your table here, your table of figures, not the title, just those 2 lines. Right
Here we
click,
go. Here's changing.
okay, that's weird.
okay, so after our table of contents, we
Yes.
do another page break, or do we do it
Do a page break.
after the table of contents?
Do it before the title because it'll put it above.
Okay.
So it's the title page, table of contents, then table of figures. If you look in what I handed out to you on Wednesday, it actually has them in the correct order. You do not have to have a table of figures. However, if you include figures in your report, you need to have a table of figures. So if you don't include any figures in there, that's fine. You won't need a table of figures, obviously, because you don't have any. And they're not required. If you look on this sheet, you're required to have a title page and a table of content page and a table of figures if needed.
When it says at least 2, like 2 or 3 supporting visual graphics.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I actually need to change that then if needed.
So you have to.
So you do have to have a table of figures because you have to have up to 3. It's in the formal report piece. No, I think that was in the presentation part. I don't think I required it in the report.
Remind us of the table of figures.
Yeah, no, there's no, okay, you're right, Lupe, it is there. The report should have a professional look and also include at least 2 to 3 supportive and functional visuals. Okay, so you do have to have a table of figures.
Where does it say that you don't?
Right beneath, you know where on the page where it has the title page, table of content, table of figures? Go down, it's the paragraph right above where it says your report will be graded on. And I need to correct that so that I make sure I correct it in the future. Okay. I'm trying to finish this so that we can get to the point where we're going to actually review for the test on Monday. We may not be able to review for the test. Make sure you read your chapter as well. Okay, did you type that in there? Looks like you typed it.
Or is he trying to?
Okay, okay. Right, because that's the format that you chose.
What are you trying to get?
When I added my
So now it's
treatment
like,
two map,
yeah, yeah.
it kicked my
So, right, stay off the phone. Oh, stay with us.
By taking your
to
phone,
the
So
second.
press enter.
Like if you're blind.
Yeah, press enter. Type table of contents. You're just gonna type it, then you have to format it in the heading on style.
All right, the last thing we're going to do on here is probably the hardest piece for people to get, and that is the different page numbers. Your title page and your table of contents are not numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where your numbering starts, and it's very strange, where your numbering starts is actually on the table of figures page. Go figure. This is considered part of the report. I don't like that. I actually like that this should be part of the pre-report. I don't know what that's called, but I think page 1 should be right here where we have our title. So that's how I'm going to teach it to you, because it's my personal opinion, and that's what I believe. If you read your book, it says the table of figures is part of the actual page numbering in the report. Yes?
Isn't it title of my table of figures? Is the figure one?
You have to type it. And then you have to format it as the heading 1 style. So, okay. So these first 3 pages are going to be considered a separate section than the actual body of the report. So I want you to click right before the H in Hess Business Center, Hess Pet Center Business Plan. Right before that H. We're going to insert what's called a continuous, or it's called a, click on page layout and click breaks. It's called a section break, but it's a continuous. So it's not going to create a new page for us. It's just going to insert a section break. So breaks, section breaks, continuous. You don't visually see anything happen, but a lot just happened. If I click the Home tab and choose my non-printing characters, I will scroll up right beneath my table of figures, and I have a section break. So now my first 3 pages are considered a completely different section than the last part of this. This is the hardest piece, I think, because when we actually go into citing sources, it's so easy. I mean, really, it's easy. All right, I'm going to turn this back off so mine looks like yours. Now I'm going to scroll up to the very first title page, and I'm going to insert a footer. So let me click on the title page somewhere. Doesn't matter where you click. A couple ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you the one way. You can actually do it the way that you're familiar with. It's fine. Click Insert. In the header and footer group, click the drop-down arrow for page number. Choose bottom of page, plain number 2. Remember, APA style is very basic. So we're going to put a page number in the bottom of the page. So click this one. At the bottom of page 1, I now have a page number 1 in my footer section 1. Do you all have that? Okay, mine did that yesterday too, but we're going to change it anyway, so hopefully it'll work.
What page? I have that on page.
Oh, mine does have a, okay.
I have it on the table of contents.
Yes, mine does too. If I would have paid attention, it was actually on page 2. So my first page actually doesn't have anything in it. If you have a 0 here, that's normal. So scroll up to your title page. If you have a 0, that's normal. What you're going to do is in this options group, you're going to make sure there's a check mark beside different first page. And then you're just going to highlight that 0 and press delete. Actually, I'm telling you wrong. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm sorry. If you deleted it, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead and just go to edit undo once. So you have, I need to put something in here. So What you're going to do is deselect this different first page. We're going to get to that piece when we get to the actual report. So deselect different first page, because at the beginning we do want a page number. I should have saved the one that I did, because actually there is not a page number on the title page. There isn't, ever. I don't care if you're MLA or APA style. Okay, back up. I was right the first time. Put a check mark in different first page, delete that 0. Just highlight it, delete it. Scroll down to page 2, which is our table of contents page. Mine currently has a 1. Yours might have a 2. Highlight it. What? Is there nothing there? If there's nothing there, that's very strange. If there's nothing there, click on this header and footer page number, bottom of page, plain number 2. See what happens. Did it finally show up? I've never had it where it didn't show up anywhere. I have had it happen. Every machine does something different. Like one will have a 1, one will have a 2. One will copy the 1 and have a 1 on every single page, and every computer does something different. So should be 1 just to start with. And it finally worked. Goodness. All right, so the rest of you, highlight this number 1, go to page number, and go down to format page numbers, because we don't actually number them 1, 2, 3 here. Our number format is in lowercase Roman numerals. So now click your drop down arrow for number format and choose this I. And it says, where do we want to start? This is actually the second page. The title page does have a number. It is number 1. It is the I. So we want to start here at I. So you have to type another lowercase I. So we're going to start at I. And click OK. Yes, that is on the table of contents page. Technically, it's page 2. If you're looking down here in the lower left-hand corner of your status bar, it says page 2 of 7. So we're numbering this I, starting at I. I know. I confuse myself with this because I'm trying to think too far ahead. There's actually a song, if you've ever heard it, where he counts to 18 in Roman numerals. It's pretty humorous. All right, now click OK. Here's what should have happened. It automatically shot me up to my title page. Has nothing on my title page. There should not be a page number on the title page. Page 2, which is my table of contents, has an I. Scroll down to your table of figures and you should have an I. Did it work? Yes. A double I and a triple I. Okay, now here's where we change, because now we're moving to the first page of the actual report. This is that Hess Business Center business plan. Technically, it's page 4 in my status bar. Scroll down to your footer area. Mine says first page footer section 2. Does yours say that? That happened when we inserted that continuous section break. But every once in a while, and my laptop did this, it continued to number. So does anyone still have? Okay, we're going to fix it.
Actually, on the second page of the body, it's got
Okay, and mine might. Oh, actually, that's what it's supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
We're going to fix it because it doesn't start with number 1, but that's what it's supposed to do. So that's good. That means it's working. On my laptop, I still had Roman numerals all the way down. Did that happen to anyone in here? If by chance it does, you click on this same as previous button. If you click on it once, it shows link to previous right here, and I can deselect that because I don't want it to link to the previous section. I want to break that link between sections. And that's only if it does something weird right here. Okay, now I'm on this first page. It's page 4 of 7. I'm going to deselect different first page. I end up with this weird 0. I want you to highlight it. You can go up here. I'm a right clicker, so if I right click, I can go to format page numbers, but you can get there the same way we were just there. So format page numbers. We're going to start at number 1. You can type a 1 or arrow up twice. I had to do it twice. Click OK. So I have 1, 2, and then I go all the way down to page 4. Did that work? I hope it did. I've had very strange things happen. You don't click same as previous and don't break the link on any other page except that title page. And that's only if you have to. I just did it to show you how to do that. Because we want our footer section 2 to actually follow in order. Did anyone's have it where your page numbers stayed exactly the same the whole way through? Footer section 2. But are your page numbers okay? I wouldn't worry too much if they're okay. Yeah, he's got footers. Oh, okay. You have to just type some.
Do you have plastic?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't have class afterwards, my next class at Campbell. So if you want to together,
Make sure
real quick.
If it went to 2, you're good. Normally, if it's not going to work, it just says 1, 1, 1, 1.
Decide it, let's show now.
All right, that's it for page numbers. But because we changed our page numbers, we're going to have to change our table of contents. So we would go up to table of contents, click in it, update table. You could update the entire table. I'm going to choose that option. Notice all my tables changed here. My table of figures is now on 3i, and then all my page numbers changed. Okay, very quickly, I'm sorry that this has taken so long. Scroll down in the body somewhere of your report. I don't care where you click. Wherever you're going to put a citation, I'm going to click at the right before the period in my revenue projections paragraph. And I'm going to cite a source. So I'm going to click references. In my styles, yours probably says MLA. Click the drop-down arrow, choose APA. It says APA is the very top. Yours probably says MLA, change it to APA. Okay, nice. They must have set that for us then. All right, we're going to click Insert Citation. Just click the button. Add a new source. This is wonderful. The type of source, whatever type of source you're using, click the drop-down arrow. These are all your options. I'm going to leave it on website. That's fine. Okay, click your drop-down arrow and choose, let's choose website. So if yours is on book, go down to website. If you had a book, a journal article, whatever. Okay, author. We type in last name, comma, first name. So let's put your name in there. I'm going to type Warman, comma, Jennifer. I'm the author of this website. Now, sometimes we need more information than what we actually see here. And if that's the case, I always recommend to put a check mark beside show all bibliography fields. And the only ones you actually need are the ones with the red asterisks. So you don't have to put in more information than what you need. So the name of the web page, let's just put everything is awesome. Yeah. The name of the website, let's just put Pratt CC. So www.prattcc.edu, we're just making stuff up. This is the year that whatever you found on the website was created. So let's say it was made in 2016, in March 28th. I have no idea. The year I accessed it, I don't know why it doesn't have a red asterisk here, because you should include the date you accessed the information. It's not required, I don't think, for APA, so that's probably why. And then the URL is the actual, oh, this is where you put the www.prattcc.edu. The name of the website would probably be Pratt Community College. And I believe that is it. Yes, that's all you need for a website. Click OK. Ta-da, it just cited your source. You could do that however many sources you have. If you've already created the source and you're going to cite it more than one time, click somewhere else. I don't care where. Click, go up here to the drop-down arrow next to Insert Citation, and it's going to have this source we just created. So if you have 4 sources, it's going to list them all here. You click on it, it cited it again. If it's a book and you have a page number in there, you would probably have to update that page number. All right, now scroll to the very, very, very end. Control End will take you there. And press Control Enter. We have a new page. We're going to put in our references. On this References tab, click the drop-down arrow for Bibliography. You're going to choose References because APA is references. But notice there's bibliography and works cited. So if you're working for English, I am telling you guys, this is wonderful. It alphabetizes it for you. It does everything it's supposed to. It formatted it APA style right here. Now, when I practiced, I did like 3 sources. What? I did Control Enter. I went to the very end of the document, press Control Enter. So here it is, references. If you had 4 sources, it alphabetizes them for you. It formats them exactly the way you need them. Is that not amazing? I think it's amazing. That's better than going to Purdue OWL and typing all your stuff in and then copying and pasting. This is way, way, way easier. So, yeah, I mean, I almost feel like it's cheating, but it's not. So, I know, before you knew this, I know, isn't that wonderful? Okay, yes, what's your question?
Well, when I put in my insert citation,
Uh-huh.
I put human 2016 next to my revenue.
Is that where you had clicked?
Do we need to save?
That's why I put it there.
Oh, we're on this.
You click at the end of wherever you want that citation to go.
Ah,
So if this sentence came from that, you would click right here.
okay.
You actually would click before the period because the period goes after the citation. And then you would go to Insert Citation and choose that one now, and there it would show up. So wherever your cursor is where it goes. All right, I recorded this, so I'm going to send this to you so you can refer back to it. The biggest piece is that page number. So if you have troubles with page numbers, I'm willing to help with that because sometimes it's a lot more difficult than what just happened today. Sometimes we get some really strange things that happen. More often than, no, you do not need to save this unless you choose to. No. I'm going to send this recording to all of you, yes, because I think it's important for you to know this formatting piece. There's so much more I could have covered, but this was the main gist of it. And that citation piece, you can't, it won't let you. I have some security settings on it. Have a good weekend. Don't forget your test on Monday over chapters 9 through 12. It's open book. Be sure you read that, though. I cut it down to 60 questions instead of 75. All multiple choice. So,
Did you